Now that I've been an adult for over a decade at this point, I'm relating more to songs about getting older and reflecting on one's life. I'm going to try something new here today where I compare and contrast two songs that I think are thematically similar. There's Glory Days by Bruce Springsteen, first released in 1984 as part of the album Born in the USA, and Keeping the Faith by Billy Joel, first released in 1983 as part of the album An Innocent Man. Both songs were released as singles in 1985. Bruce Springsteen and Billy Joel are both men born in 1949, and they grew up in kind of the same part of the United States, New Jersey and Long Island, respectively. So their life experiences have a lot of parallels, which I think makes it reasonable to compare these two songs reflecting on their concurrent lives. Glory Days, like the title track of the album it's from, Born in the USA, is often misunderstood because people are not necessarily careful or thoughtful listeners of lyrics. There's a common tendency to focus on the words glory days that get repeated in the chorus and the general upbeat way the music sounds, and miss the nuances of the underlying theme. When you read the lyrics without the wall of sound behind them, they are a bit depressing, especially the last verse, which goes, "I think I'm gonna go down to the well tonight, and I'm gonna drink till I get my fill. And I hope when I get old I don't sit around thinking about it, but I probably will." Yeah, just sitting back, trying to recapture a little of the glory, while time slips away and leaves you with nothing but boring stories of glory days. Bruce Springsteen said that the first two verses, describing encounters with classmates from high school, more or less did happen, while the last verse was, quote, happening now. The lyrics and the music work together to create a kind of cheerful nihilism. The production sounds noisy and crowded, calling to mind being in a bar, and the simple chorus invites listeners to drunkenly sing along. Drinking is a thread throughout all three verses of the song, implying that nostalgia is its own intoxicant. A picture is painted of people who've become stuck sitting around drinking and reminiscing instead of making new memories. Bruce Springsteen seems to come to the conclusion in this song that nostalgia is perhaps not the healthiest thing, but we all eventually succumb to its forces, and it helps give us something to connect over. He's critiquing nostalgia and embracing it at the same time, acknowledging what a complicated thing it is. Keeping the Faith is a little bit of a lesser-known song from Billy Joel, doesn't get a whole lot of airplay, and I think it's kind of an underappreciated gem compared to some of his songs that everybody knows. Over instrumentation reminiscent of a jukebox, he opens with the declaration, "If it seems like I've been lost in let's remember. If you think I'm feeling older and missing my younger days, oh, then you should have known me much better, 'cause my past is something that never got in my way. Oh no." In other words, although Billy Joel reflects on his past and draws from its aesthetics, he doesn't allow the past to hold him back. All the verses except the last one give an account of his youth loaded with vivid details like, "my sharkskin jacket, you know, the kind with the velvet collar." But the bridge, which uses more direct language, is arguably the song's thesis. You can get just so much from the good thing. You can linger too long in your dreams. Say goodbye to the oldies but goodies, 'cause the good old days weren't always good, and tomorrow ain't as bad as it seems. I actually used that last line as my senior quote in high school because it has legitimately been such an important thing for me to remember. It's easy to view the past with rose-colored glasses and to worry excessively about the future, so we often have to put in a conscious effort to keep things in perspective. Billy Joel sings this line twice to hammer it home, first in the middle of the song and then again toward the end. Keeping the Faith simultaneously critiques and embraces nostalgia, but in a bit of a different way than Glory Days. The conclusion is less nostalgia comes for us all, and more you can choose to integrate nostalgia into something new. It doesn't have to hold you back. Over the course of the verses of Keeping the Faith, we are led to the time of the song's writing, with Billy putting on his old records and cracking open a beer. This is, in a literal sense, the same way Glory Days ends, the narrator drinking and reminiscing. But Billy Joel doesn't express a feeling of resignation. Instead, he sings, "Ain't it wonderful to be alive when the rock and roll plays, when the memory stays." For most of the song, he's been saying, "we were keeping the faith," presumably referring to himself and his friends back in the day. But after this final verse, he switches to, "I'm keeping the faith," a statement of his intentions going forward. What does he mean by keeping the faith? Probably everything but religious faith, considering Billy Joel is an atheist who was raised by non-observant Jewish parents. I think he means faith in oneself, faith that good things are ahead, and faith in music, which he alludes to being saved by. Bruce Springsteen and Billy Joel are both artists with longevity. They were able to, frankly, keep making good music longer than most artists because they were able to grow and evolve and keep doing new things, even while dipping heavily into the past for inspiration. And I think that's because they knew how to thoughtfully integrate the past with the present. They both recognize, as evidenced by these two songs, that it's not good to be stuck in the past. While I do like a song with a cynical, sarcastic edge like Glory Days, I find Keeping the Faith genuinely inspiring. I love it more now than I did when I was a senior in high school. I even love the campy music video. I like that it doesn't take itself too seriously. It has a certain over-the-top 1980s comedic quality that I like a lot. I greatly appreciate both of these songs, one a bit more than the other, but comparing and contrasting them enhanced my appreciation of both. Thanks for sticking with me for this little analysis. I hope I gave you something to think about, and I hope you have a fantastic day.